I always shot in English, even my first short film, not because of Filmax. And in the year 2000, I went to Sitges, and now more and more people is doing it. When I did it, it's just because I love Anglo-Saxon pop culture, and I come from an area in Spain, the southeast, in Valencia, that since I'm a kid, I've been surrounded by British, Irish, Scottish kids, and we have in common grunge music, folk jam, Fillmore, metal, and that's it. But now it's like it makes perfect sense. It's a global, kind of economy, and I feel equally interested in shooting in Spanish or English because it doesn't matter. It's up to the project. I made just one movie in Spanish. That's my second one, called Agnosia, and it's because it took place in the Mediterranean Sea in the 19th century, and I wanted to make this. I went into. It was like a thriller, but it was based on characters, and I thought of Bergman's Fanny and Alexander. I knew a lot about, as a Valencian, the difference between the north and the south, and the Catalans are very cold and distant and kind of a samurai, not showing their emotions until they show it. And I thought about Bergman, that it has a lot about that. It's like people being very calm down but talking about very delicate subjects. And I thought that a conspiracy thriller, was a very interesting way to combine all these things with the Mediterranean Sea, that is Visconti and Bertolucci. So because of that, I went into Spanish. We even shot a couple of scenes in Catalan, because that was the thing. It's like you see The Godfather Part 2, and they're speaking Italian. I mean, they're Italian after all. Well, since my sister and me were kids, we not only saw the logical movies like The Goonies, Back to the Future, and Spielberg movies. We saw Singing in the Rain, West Side Story, and my mother, she was always singing. Both of them, my father and my mother, they are ceramic artists. They work with clay and stuff, and they paint, and we always had a very creative environment when we were kids. Even before I started playing piano, very, very, very soon, when I was 4 years old. Well, I had to create this super complex score of sequenced events, depending, despite they were musical or just physical or whatever. And once you have that, everything starts to fit in the pieces. You start to invoke exactly what you need. And in some ways, the events portrayed in the script, they were some of the events of the score, but it was a polyphony, like a vertical. I'll have to say this is the first time that I worked in a vertical way.
I love you.
Tom, you're alive.
That's the great Tom Selznick.
Tom Selznick.
Congratulations. The whole place is packed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Selznick.
And Grampian is more kind of a love letter to Hitchcock, and it's more like there's this hierarchy of genres. A thriller that is just a thriller is what it is, and from there you can go to very interesting places.
Call for help, and I will hear it. Get a guard involved, I will know it. If you do any of these things, your wife will die. Play a wrong note, and you will die.
I'll give you all the money I have.
I don't want your money.
Then what?
I want you to play the most flawless concert of your life.